episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Good morning, Santee. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you guys. Hope your week's been going good. Make sure I got all the sound and stuff set off here. Yep, I got everything shut off. Yeah, it's supposed to get. We're supposed to be like 90 today. Uh, what do we got? What do we got for a temperature here right now? 70, 79. Wow. It doesn't feel like that inside, but the wife's got the air conditioner set at polar ice cap right now. So yeah, which I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do. I understand the whole menopause thing and the fact that they get hot so much easier. It's my goodness gracious. I come home from work yesterday evening after being down there at the beach, even with the air conditioner in the kitchen set at 60 degrees. I have to keep the door closed to the kitchen, the swinging door closed to keep it cool in there with 490-degree oven right beside me. But I sat down there, sweating my cojones off all day long. Came home and instantly put on a pair of sweatpants and a zip up hooded sweatshirt because it was so freaking cold in this house. I was afraid I was going to catch pneumonia going from 85 degrees to, whatever the heck she's got that thing set at. And she's got the fan on sitting up by the window that's just sitting there turning on high and blowing the cold air out of the air conditioner vent. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see here. Doing okay, not amateurs. We are at 83 or 84, depending on the source. Good morning, Cher. Good to see you, hon. Hope you're doing good. Let me see. Good, thanks, Tony. It's a bit cold. I'll tell you what, if it could stay like 70 degrees year round, I'd be happy. Um, we're supposed to be working with and training a new cook today. I got to be down there here in just a couple hours, and we're 30 minutes away from our first in a series of thunderstorms moving through the area. So that should be real cool. So hopefully it don't get too awful hot too awful soon. So yeah, I'll just pray for rain all day long, and that way it stays nice. And of course, it's not going to do very good with the white pants that I wear. But hey, you can't have everything go your way, I guess. Got to get the coffee mug filled. Whew. I'm enjoying mine this morning for sure. Morning, Jan. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing good. Ugh. Hope you've not been working the husband too awful hard out there on the farm. Of course, opening a new restaurant don't go without its cute little funny, ha-has and stuff like that. We spent the day yesterday refining everything we've already refined. We got the garlic butter just right. We got the little garlic bows, the little garlic knot appetizers set just right and everything. And the boss spent about 4 hours with me yesterday, um, saying, if we got them this good, we can get them better. So that's what we did yesterday. I made my own garlic butter. Of course, he put more garlic in it. I don't put a lot of garlic in it because garlic is a natural blood thinner. And a lot of people, you know, don't eat a lot of garlic because of the fact that garlic is a blood thinner. And, people like me who are already on prescription blood thinners don't want our blood any thinner. I've got perfect example. I got a scratch here on my hand that's been there for over a week and a half. And when it bleeds, oh, let's see here. We'll be stretching fence around the orchard today before the storms come. I have never noticed garlic being an issue for me. For some people, it's not, but my doctor warned me a few years ago to be very, very careful eating too much garlic because, here at home, I make my own garlic bread by hand. I and the daughter both make garlic butter. Um, and then, all the pasta and pizzas and everything that we eat here, all garlicky. So he warned me, be very, very careful of the garlic thing because you're already on blood thinners because of the blood clot here, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. They just want to make sure that, there's no more blood clots popping up. So, um, good morning, David. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing good. I love garlic. I'm on blood thinners too. But, I think we finally got the little garlic bows refined. To the point where we can't refine them anymore. I take blood thinners and an anticoagulant. You go out getting in briar bushes and sticker bushes and stuff like that, man, you're just going to be a lawn sprinkler. You're not even, blood's not even going to coagulate to make a scab. You're just going to just be growing garlic this fall. I've been having intestinal issues, but I'm doing better. Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's really kind of funny that you mentioned the intestinal thing. Since and there's the rain. It's funny. I don't know what it's like where y'all live at, but it looks like it's about 5 o'clock outside. It is dark. I haven't even looked at Ryan Hall. I haven't looked at max velocity. I've not looked at the Doppler. I've not looked at anything this morning. I quite honestly didn't. Oh, this is just a pst. The big stuff. Still a few hours. It's up in Wisconsin and the extreme upper UP over by the nose on Lake Superior. Um, yeah, you can see it there. And then, of course, if you look like I'm doing this backwards. If you look at that little blue dot, that's where I'm at, and I've got that little teeny tiny smudge of rain that's coming down. So, yeah, I'd say probably by 2, 3 o'clock, that bigger patch will get down to us. Bleed quite often, but it isn't an issue. I have very thin skin on my forearms. Y'all can keep that weather. We don't need it. It's very dark here, but then again, it's 10, 12. Yeah, I started to say it's getting real close to 10:30, 11 o'clock where you're at. I hope it's dark. I mean, I've never been there. Don't know what the natural pattern of things are. Um, got to the point in my age. Ooh, thunder. Got to that point in my age where it don't even need to be dark for me to sleep. So I could go to the Arctic where you have those months of no dark. So yeah, I'd be fine sleeping. I actually sleep better during the day than I do at night. We keep most of the windows covered here, so I can't tell time without a clock. Well, we keep the blinds closed in the living room. Um, well, 3/4 the way closed, mainly because we have a teenage daughter that runs around the house, and we have a bunch of freaky deaky teenage boys in the neighborhood. And, well, frankly, I can't just say that. We have a bunch of freaky deaky teenage boys and girls in the neighborhood. And, my daughter's up all hours of the day and night. And frankly, I don't want to go to prison for, beating some teenager to death for looking in the windows. I don't got to worry about her room. I don't think her blind has ever been open or her curtains. It is always midnight in her room. At the moment, sunrise is around 6:45 a.m., sunset 5:30, 6 o'clock. About the same as here, roughly, kind of, sort of. keep daylight savings time year round, we'll be screwed. Yeah, see, I'm right there with you, Tony. I grab a shovel, try to dig a hole, hurt your back, hurt your shoulders, hurt your knees. You know, for 3 days now, I've had a freaking kink in my neck. I woke up with it like either Thursday or Friday morning, and I, all the pills in the world, everything. My wife has this little thing she calls her emergency pack, and it's ibuprofen and acetaminophen, and um, you know, when her hips hurting or when my back's hurting or something, uh, she'll throw some at me, and I tried it with for my neck, and it didn't even touch it. It didn't even touch it. So I could turn good this way, but when I go this way, I could only go so far, and I start to feel that grabbing pain. It's real fun at work. Thank God, when I turn my head, I usually have to turn my whole body because I have to move in that direction. Cute little rumble rumble. I would say by now, after three little claps of thunder, Ralph is probably tucked up under the bed, and Junior is looking out the window right now trying to check things out because that is the normal cause of things. Um, our sun sets around 8. Daylight saving starts the first Sunday in October, ends first Sunday of April. I take 1,000 milligrams ibuprofen, 100 milligrams tramadol, just to get out of bed. Yeah, see, summertime, um, like right at this time of the year, it is still somewhat light out at 10 o'clock at night. Um, Normally by now the sun's, oh, you guys have been on the stream, you've seen it, the sun's yay high up, it's coming through the trees, uh, usually in my face, but by this time. Tramadol made me too itchy. There's been a couple medicines that they prescribed to me that I've had one kind of reaction or another to. Never been on tramadol that I know of. I've taken so many medicines in the last 10 years between the diabetes and the fact that I'm just slowly decaying that I don't know. You're lucky it's been freaking hot here. I hope they make daylight savings time permanent. JJ, I prefer warm weather. I like it pleasant. It's not a fact of liking warm weather or cold weather. I just want it pleasant. I would like to be able to go outside and do things without roasting to death or baking in the sun. But at the same time, I want to be able to go outside and do things and not freeze my bejesus off. So, like I said, somewhere between 60 and 70 degrees would be perfect year round for me. Sadly enough, I haven't found a place yet in the country where it's like that. The only side effect I have seen from tramadol is insomnia if I take it past about 2 p.m. I'm not sure if I want it permanent. really no reason to change it. There really honestly isn't. I mean, if you sit and think about it, we did very good without it for 200 years, 100 and 150 years, and now here we are. The only bad thing about it is, when it springs forward, a lot of companies, restaurants and stuff like that, lose that hour worth of business, and it don't necessarily affect us, but these businesses that are open for breakfast and lunch, where we're open for lunch and dinner, you know, they lose that hour of business because they can't you know open an hour earlier and close out. I mean, they're set. We open at 6, we close at 2. We have a little place here in town, George's Cafe, out on the east end of town, and they lose that first hour that they're open. They're catering to all the farmers. They're catering to all the old folk that have been up for 2 hours already and are waiting for breakfast. All the coffee drinkers, all that. Um, During the day today, it was 15 degrees Celsius. Sun was out, so it was warm until night come. Well, literally, it was for lighting in factories and to extent farmers. Farmers tended to follow the sun always. That time change in spring kills a fair number of people. It really does. It really does affect uh, a lot of people. Now, like I said, for us, um, the twirl opens at 11 and it closes at like 10 p.m. So during the summer months, when we move forward, they're losing that last hour. So technically, they're still opening at 11, but they're having to close at 9. And for that place, yeah, it can get a little busy. The nice thing about the pizza place is I'll probably open about the same time they do for lunch, but I'm kind of sort of independent from them. So, it takes me about that long to clean up. And once I actually have help over there, the cleanup's going to go a lot faster because then I won't have to clean the whole thing. I'll just be cleaning my kitchen up. So, I could stay open till 10:30, 10:45 and still be walking out the door the same time they do next door. Drink up everything, honey. I really appreciate daylight savings during calving season when I was on the farm. By the way, the past 3 days on national news, they are talking about Europe burning. Yes, I can't believe all the fires in France. Huh. Well, seeing as how I don't watch the news or anything like that on TV, I hadn't heard nothing about it. So I'm going to have to check into that. Uh, there it is. This, my friends, is what exhaustion looks like. Because much like when I'm working at the brewery, I'm back to waking up between 3 and 4, regardless of when I go to sleep. Since I'm the only one working at the pizza place right now, I'm having to put all the stock away, pick it up from the dry storage building, carry it into the pizza, or carry it into the actual pizza garage. I don't know about any of you, but 100 pounds of flour on your shoulder, 50-pound bags of, cornmeal, cases of, let's see, that's 8, that's 50, that's about 50 pounds of pizza sauce, pizza base, you know, plus doing all the running back and forth between my place and the restaurant to get the breaded chicken strips to make our chicken bacon ranch pizzas for samplers. Um, Good morning, Masha. Hope you're doing good this morning. I see old age. I feel it. I actually feel it more now than I ever have before. Just because I'm helping get everything set up, and of course the boss can't do much because he's got on 2 leg braces, so he don't do any heavy lifting. About the heaviest thing he has to carry around is his briefcase. So I own my own personal hand truck. And you see, I've been seriously thinking about taking my hand truck down there, just to help move stuff back and forth. Matter of fact, I might do that today. Wait, do I even have my hand truck still? The wife's aunt's husband borrowed it when he moved. I need to go check in the shed and see if my hand truck's even out there, because I don't know if he brought it back or not. That shows you how often I have to move stuff around here. Fires here in Canada, we're getting help from a lot of countries. That is the way aging kind of works. Yeah, I don't want it to work that way. I've always finished. I've almost finished decorating the pages for my interactive big mini album. I was up to 2 a.m. working on it. I'm getting excited about almost finishing it. I bet you are. I bet you are. You put a lot into those little albums and stuff. So, yeah, I see mine right over there through the shelves. Shit. And behind the press and freezer. I don't want to work that way either. I've been seriously contemplating adding even more onto my plate and going back to school. For those of you who are not my wife and, actually pays attention to the world, I just recently received an email from Goodfellas Pizza out of New York. And the New York uh, pizza culinary school is known as Goodfellas pizza school, and been thinking about looking into furthering not only to better my education, to better my knowledge, but because as I stand now, not being a documented chef, people in the state of Michigan and anywhere can pay me whatever they want to. Like right now, I'm running this place basically down here. I am the head chef. I am making minimum wage. I am making the same thing that an inexperienced person coming in would be making. A registered chef in the state of Michigan makes between $23 and $35 an hour. And there goes the wife again. Oh, wait, she had to take her aunt somewhere this morning. Good morning, Jay. Glad to see she's not got you out slaving away on the farm already. Do you really think the place can afford to pay 2 times wages? If you knew the money this guy made, you would probably poop kittens, honestly. His annual income is somewhere in the million to million and three quarter range. He does 2 different casino contracts. He is the top salesman for U.S. Foods in our region. And he owns this place down here, which he just laughed at $850,000 to put this place in. Getting ready to put up fencing today. Yeah, Jan was saying that earlier. You guys are gonna be stretching out fencing. Oh, believe me, he's making a profit. 50 years. 50 years this year that place has been in business down there. It's making a profit. Here lately, just selling, burgers, fries, chicken strips, roasted chicken, stuff like that. He's been having five, six, seven, $8,000, $10,000 days. So believe me, looks like we're getting a little laggy here for some reason. Must be the weather. Get off there. Oh, now don't you start messing around now, ornery thing. I got one computer doing really, really good, keeping up. I've got one that's lagging about 30 seconds behind. We have a few old restaurants here. They're that old, they get pretty good customer base. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's this place. And it's really funny because when his dad opened this place 50 years ago, he used to cook one order at a time. Grandma used to sit and talk about the fact how his dad It, if he got an order, one order that came in for 5 hamburgers and 3 orders of fries, 2 orders of onion rings, that's all he put on that grill until it was done. When it was done, then he would pull down and look at his second order. People loved it because each one of those orders had his complete and total attention. He wasn't trying to stick 52 burgers on the grill and cook an entire bag of fries and cook 5 pounds of onion rings. It was one specific order at a time. Wasn't very cost efficient, mind you, but people loved it. Don't eat pizza much. If we do, we make our own most of the time on nano bread. A really good, yummy food is either lamb, beef, pork, and a hot dog roll with mashed potatoes and gravy. Kind of sounds like what we call a beef Manhattan. Usually it is like shredded beef or shredded meat or thinly sliced meat on a piece of bread with mashed potatoes on top of it and then gravy on top of that. Um, Used to be real big in the schools, 40 years ago when I was in school, but you still find some restaurants that serve beef Manhattans and stuff. There's a pizza place in New Haven. The line wraps around the building at lunchtime, and some big celebrities visit it, whatever, whenever they're in town. To be honest, that's how I see this place when we finally open this weekend. Um, I wasn't there. Uh, I wasn't there 20 minutes yesterday. I hadn't even technically turned anything on. I went in, flipped on the lights, opened the two serving window screens to get some kind of a breeze blowing through off the lake, and I had 3 groups of people that came up and asked if we were open yet. I'm like, no, I just turned on the stuff. We're not going to open until this weekend. Oh, we were told you were already open. That they had seen people eating pizza and stuff. I said, oh, we've made demos for people and given it to them and let them try it. Some of our appetizers, some of our pizzas. I said, but a lot of the things that we use ingredient wise, suppliers don't just carry in stock. They have to order it in, then deliver it. Mexican oregano, uh, actual Italian meats, certain like our mozzarella log that we slice. It's not just shredded or store bought mozzarella. It is actually a soft mozzarella log about that big and about that big around, and we slice it to go on a couple of our sandwiches and stuff. So, the food suppliers have to, order it in from whatever country it comes from, and then when it's delivered, they deliver it to us. Um, but yeah, I expect us to be, busy as all get out for the first few weeks. We actually had a food reviewer from Chicago. I'm very familiar with him. He does work all over the Midwest, and he comes, around the lake uh, a few times a month. And when he stops in, when he drives through the area, he always, comes through our town and stops and gets like our triple Chicago burger or the mushroom and Swiss burger or something because he loves the food. Yesterday he brought his wife and his mother. His wife's from Russia and Fredericksburg, I believe. And she wanted to try like the breaded chicken strips, which the restaurant's famous for. Same ones we use on our chicken bacon ranch pizza, and she wanted to try that triple Chicago burger. And while he was there and seeing that we were doing our operations at the pizza place, he dove in and he wanted a pizza. So I made a half spicy pizza for him and a half um, supreme for his wife and mother. Made my own spicy pizza sauce. I used spicy sausage, and he decided I'm going to do a video review of these guys and introduce the chef, introduce the owner, show the pizza, get everybody's feelings on it. So we're already off to a good start. Haven't even opened yet. This guy's he's been at it for a while. He does a lot of Chicago stuff. He actually said, and I'm waiting to see if he says it in the video when he releases it. But he said even with the Chicago style pizzas that he's had, we have the best pizza he's ever had. So he told me, he said, I guarantee I'll make you famous. He said, I average, 50,000 to 100,000 views each day I post a video. He said, for you to never have eaten pizza in Chicago and make a pizza better than a Chicago style pizza, I'll make you famous. I've been skipping out on this chat. Let me see here. We find a good place like it. Change something, usually sauce. And then it's tasteless. Yeah, we've got the sauce, we've got the dough recipe, we've got everything dialed in. We hand make the dough, we hand make the sauce, we hand make the garlic butter, we hand make the dressings for the salads, we hand make everything. That is a roast beef sandwich around here. Used to like Domino's, they changed the sauce, now it's yuck. We've had people try our pizza so far, and they said we're the best pizza in town. You know, we get the word out, we advertise. Nobody's going to want any of the other pizzas here in town. Don't eat much bread unless baked by the Amish. I prefer cauliflower crust. We've done the cauliflower crust here at home, and it is really good. Pizza Hut is greasy. Yeah. Sadly. Hot roast beef. That's a good reason why. Since moving here, lifestyles changed, and closest stores are Amish. If I had access to Amish stores, I wouldn't use anything else. I like the handmade Amish noodles, not the mass-produced Amish noodles they sell in stores. Yeah. Women are amazing at baking, all fresh. Our Pizza Hut shut down a few years ago. There are like 92 pizza places between Hamden and New Haven. We almost literally have one on almost every corner. I've seen a few places like that. I mean, this teeny tiny town of 3,000 people now with us officially has 4 places that make pizza. Of course, uptown at the bar, or well, the Indian restaurant, they still make pizza. Why, I have no clue, because they know nothing about making pizza. They want everything cut so small and then sparsely used that you'll get a bite with a little teeny tiny piece of pepperoni and a green onion, or a red onion and a green pepper, and then take two bites and get nothing but cheese and crust. The brewery, people are complaining about $16 teeny tiny pizzas that just don't taste right. Well, I mean, the dough's only got four ingredients, so I mean, the other pizza place here in town, since the new owners took over about a year and a half ago, they've changed the recipes on everything. I don't like their sauce personally. When we would order pizzas out there, I'd get cheese sauce on my pizza. I don't like the. I think they take pizza sauce straight out of a can and don't do anything to it. They have wonderful greenhouses and nurseries. Amish live like they are in the 1800s. Yes. So the wait, what? Making healing salves. I got a clothesline. JJ, I remember when my Nana would make Rosalia, Roselta, Rosalia. I remember when my grandma would make jam. We spend a couple of hours in the bush picking them. Great memories. To see many and thrift stores buying cloth to make clothes. Tablecloths, very smart with their money. Learn from it. 4 hours, 60 feet each. Love my clothes on the line. I grew up with a clothesline. Mom had a real nice washer and dryer set when we were growing up, and I very rarely ever seen her use the dryer, except for maybe underwear. Everything else went on the clothesline, and it always smelled so good, you know, always. Well, maybe not in the spring, when they were spraying fertilizer on the field, but we had fields on, three sides touching our property. Then we just had a single lane road going in front of the house and a field right on the other side of it. So we got fertilizer smell from all four directions. Plus, we had a pig farm a mile to the west of us and a cattle farm half a mile to the east of us. And we had cattle a half a mile to the south of us, and just an open field and fertilizer to the north. So a lot of poop out that direction. I do like my blue jeans dried on the line. Me too. Unfortunately, I can't take the heavy pollen we get here, so I use drying racks in the house. And I really honestly think that's one reason that the wife don't do it, because she is very sensitive to pollen. I've hung a clothesline up in the backyard before between those two big trees in the backyard there. Um, but mostly it's my blankets for camping and stuff like that to go on there. I have a problem with pollen. Blah, 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 blah. Frank Pepe Pizzeria Neapolitana is the oldest pizza place here in New Haven, Connecticut. It opened in 1925. Gotta put softener in the rinse cycle for jeans and towels. Turn jeans inside out before hanging them on the line. Prevents fading. I wear a mask outside when there's pollen. Man, not I. Not I. I love the when the little fluff balls and stuff are flying through the air. And that's really kind of funny though, when you have when you have wet clothes hanging on the line, and then you go out there to check them out, and they're covered in little fluff balls. God, I remember my mom going bat poop crazy over that. Who messaged me? Mm. This is a burger. A lot here, and it does have cheese too. Oh, it's from Cher. Okay, I gotta see what an Australian burger looks like. Onion barbecue sauce, grilled pineapple, a fried egg, crispy bacon, beef patty with barbecue sauce, beetroot, tomato, lettuce. Well, the egg thing on a burger is catching on here. Has been for a few years now. Um, don't see, never seen anybody. Now, I've never seen anybody, but that doesn't mean it don't happen. Um, beetroot and pineapple. Never seen any. Now I've heard of a hamburger with pineapple, but I've never heard of a hamburger with beetroot. But oh yeah, barbecue sauce, grilled onions. I've done breaded, deep fried jalapenos, stuff like that for people before. But that, I mean, I'd try it, even with the beetroot and the pineapple on it. But I'm dumb like that. I'll try anything once. Kind of like kind of like when Christina sent me that jar of Vegemite last year. I stuck a big old spoon in it and got a mouthful of it, and I think my head almost exploded. Have you ever seen Have you ever seen someone order a cheeseburger without a bun? That would be me. Well, I mean, I make hamburger steaks here. That's something that, I grew up seeing mom do when we were in the mood for a hamburger but didn't really want a bun. She'd make a hamburger steak, put cheese on it, whatever, put, your mayonnaise and your pickles and whatever, grilled onions on the plate, and you just cut it and eat it bite for bite like that. I love cheese on the patty too. I love Goetta and egg burger. I love lamb smothered in gravy, mushrooms, onions. See, I love lamb. I love mutton. I love venison, or um, what the heck's a baby cow called? Meat wise. But I love lamb. The wife hates it. To me, it's just Veal, thank you. To me, it's just a tender meat, smothered in mushroom gravy and onions. Oh yeah, that'd be great. My burger is half pound, fried to brown, and baked at 350 for 20 minutes or so. I've heard of people doing that, and it's supposed to make the burger better. Calf, veal. We have a mom and pop restaurant 15 minutes away that has liver and onions on the menu. I always get it when we go there. Although I will put tomato and onion on them as of late. Wait, what was that? That's not the best way to try Vegemite for the first time. Um, no. But I have come to find out that Vegemite works really great with meats when you're cooking them and stuff. And I'm slowly emptying that jar out. Of course, I still haven't told the wife and daughter that I've been putting Vegemite in any kind of meat that I cook. So I remember here when lamb was called poor man's meat. It's so expensive now. Oh yeah, I buy beef liver for my dog once in a while. He loves it. I do as well. It used to be so cheap, not now. No, it's not. Not at all. Then again, nothing's cheap anymore. Even if you don't live in America and have to pay the hiked prices, these other countries that export to us are paying the higher tariffs to export their meat and their products out. So who gets the kickback? Who suffers? The the folks that are paying their taxes and stuff like that have to pay for those tariffs and everything, or pay for those extra costs. Can't stand the smell of beef liver. I make food for my 17-year-old dog, but I use ground turkey. You As much as the wife has tried to make ground turkey taste like hamburger, I mean, she's tried. She's tried really hard, but I know the difference. I don't care how much she doctors it up. I don't care how much beef flavor you put in it. I don't care how smoky you make it. It always tastes like ground turkey. Why don't ground turkey taste like fresh turkey? I don't see how the processing of something. It's like, and I was just talking to somebody yesterday about this. You know, I asked her, I said, do you remember back when we were younger how beef tasted like beef, chicken tasted like chicken, turkey tasted like turkey? I said, now, if you cook it in one piece, it has one flavor. If you grind it, it has another flavor. Ground beef, local store, $1.89 a pound. Psh, we're still paying like $6 a pound for it here. $5.99 on average. Those crappy morning start plant burgers are still better than ground turkey. My dog is on fresh food now. Loves it. You give him are as well for his teeth because it's processed, because they grind the lips and assholes and the floor sweepings. My other dogs get dry kibble, and I do put some dry in the senior's bowl as well. I won't eat anything from a box chicken, burger, chicken strips. Yeah, I eat fresh and make my own. My additives, even bread, got gross. Yeah, nothing tastes the way it used to. I mean, you might as well face that. I've noticed, and that's one thing I was talking to the food reviewer about yesterday. You know, his wife was trying that triple Chicago burger, and you know, I told him, I said, "Have you noticed?" I said, yeah, "Granted, you're 25 years younger than I am, 20 years younger than I am." I said, "Have you noticed how a hamburger don't even taste like a hamburger anymore?" And he said, "Yeah, except this one." I said, "That's the point I was trying to make." I said, "When we were growing up, you know, my mom would make hamburgers all the time. She'd have a little steaming pot next to it with you know, the insert in it that lifted it about that far, and then she'd have about yay much water in the bottom steaming." I said she'd get the burgers done. She'd put them on a bun. She'd stick them in the steaming pot, so the burger buns were nice and soft, and that everything stayed warm. I said she didn't use anything but salt and pepper. I said you go out and try the same method today, it does not taste at all like it did when we were younger. Everything tastes different. And I really think it's what they refer to as advancements in the meat processing procedure. They're putting more stuff in it. You know, used to be they just stick plain formaldehyde in our ground meat and stuff. Now they have all kinds of little thingies they stick in there. Anything from box chicken, chicken strips. I really honestly think if you ever made it down this far, Vasha, and tried the chicken strips down here at the restaurant, you'd probably like them. I have never. See, the one nice thing about my boss is he never changed any of his dad's recipes. They're made the same way they were made 50 years ago. And frankly, my wife makes some awesome chicken strips and fried chicken. She created her own batter, her everything. And I like the chicken strips down at the restaurant. They remind me of homemade. Does still defy many outages and dog food stays on the label. I just wish I still had the means to do home kills. Yeah, the hamburger meat isn't that good anymore. And see, the really nice thing is, you know, my brother-in-law works for the same company out of Indianapolis that my boss is the head salesman for up here. And when I got that 30 pounds of ground beef from the brother-in-law here a few months ago, um, I noticed that it was that same quality and taste that I remember from my youth. And it got me thinking about the place down here, and then I realized it was the same exact meat. And frankly, don't want to say anything where it can be heard here in the house, but when I get hungry during the daytime, I just walk across the parking lot and get a burger or a mushroom and Swiss burger or something from the restaurant and take it back over and eat it. Why? very seldom ever hungry by the time I get home because by the time of sampling our own recipes and eating lunch, I very seldom ever eat here anymore. Chicken is the one most dogs are becoming allergic to. I watched a YouTube channel discussing comparing dog foods. Only two were good. What they said was on the label. The rest were nasty. There's a bison farm 35 minutes away from us. We want to go there and buy some meat. There's also an Amish farm that sells beef and chicken, and we'll buy there. Yeah, we used to have a bison ranch not very far from here, and they quit slaughtering as the folks got older. Now they're just letting them breed. Ain't nothing like taking a food stock and just stopping the slaughter, and then every year you've got 6, 7, 8 new 2,000-pound puppy dogs running around. I've literally seen this guy walk into his field, and these bison walk up and start rubbing their head or something like that on him. I don't trust what's on the labels for dog food anymore. Doesn't seem like there are any regulations for it anymore. I never did like dog food for my dogs when I had them. I don't like feeding Ralph and Junior and the outside homeless kitties dry food. But, we can't afford, you know, 50 pounds of wet food every 2 weeks. So, yeah. And if they keep marking up the price of the dry food, the cats are going to start living on sticks and leaves because just in the last year, I've seen the dry food go from 11.50 a bag to like $16 a bag. So we actually switched over to a generic, and we're back at that 11.50 a bag thing again. We have so many farms around here, orchards. Pick your own apples, strawberries. Love supporting the farmers. See, we used to, but here in Michigan, the orchards, the vineyards, all that stuff goes into wine production and things like that for our local um, places here in the state and, well, elsewhere in the Midwest. So there's not any places around here where you can just go and pick. Problem with letting small herds go to seed is that inbreeding will kill them off eventually. Our orchard has apples, plums, pears, peaches, and cherries. We have grapes and blackberries planted as well. Doggone it, that glare is back. Nope, still there. I'm just wondering if that's part of having an artificial lens um, inside my eye now. Um, there's nothing in the world like, sitting in a room that only has one light source and getting a glare across your eyes. Um, it's like wearing a pair of glasses with a smear on it and you're constantly seeing it. And then when you block the light source off, it's gone. Blueberries grow like weeds here, or blackberries. Wish they grew like weeds around here. Elderberries is about the only thing that you can actually find in like roadside ditches and stuff like that, if the farmers don't regularly mow them down. When I was growing up, we had wild strawberries that grew about a half mile from the house. And me and my mom, my sister would walk down there through the through the summertime picking strawberries. And mom would have to, run to the store then and get the little shortcakes and stuff like that to make, strawberry shortcake and stuff. But we'd cut them up. We'd put them on our pancakes. We'd make syrup out of them. We'd uh, put them on ice cream. Mulberries is another one that elderberries, mulberries both used to grow wild around here, but you don't see it very much anymore. We have cherries too. We get winter here, so not year round. The states lose crop due to frost. It affects prices go up. Oranges is a big one. Oh yeah, mulberries are weeds here in my yard. If the second eye was done properly, you wouldn't have that. Although, if someone shines a light on your eyes in the dark, you'll look like a wild animal. Yeah, this eye's it's getting worse. It's not getting any better. Um, when I call them, they say keep using those medicated eye drops, and we'll see you in September. It's not had time to heal properly yet. It's been 2.5 freaking months, y'all. It should be healed just fine. I mean, my dad was out of surgery for a week, and now he's been out of surgery for 6 years and don't even have to wear glasses anymore. My mom wears reading glasses, but other than that, don't have to wear glasses anymore. And this started the day after their surgery. Here I am, 2.5 months later, and I still can't see anything out of this eye. Yeah, I mean, I can. It's just all like blood. I wouldn't even try to read anything like that. Now this eye, um, let me see here. We have mulberry bushes. We have grape orchards too, and one's just making vines. Niagara Falls has huge orchards. At this point, you shouldn't need drops. Oh, they're blaming retinopathy now. They're saying that now I have diabetic retinopathy, and it's now that my eyes are fixed and they got the cataract thing fixed. They're saying I have retinopathy, and that's what's affecting this eye. We also have a big jam factory here. If you go in there and buy, it's cheaper than going to the grocery store. Oh yeah, definitely. Always cheaper to buy at the source. See, the really bad thing, and that's one of the big complaints um, about our grocery store here is their suppliers set their minimum price. So for that store to make any money, they got to mark the price up. So we wind up paying more because they have their minimum price set at like what you could go to Walmart or Myers or something like that and buy the stuff for. Why? Because, we don't order as much as those other places do. We ain't that big. So, you know, you can go to Walmart and buy something for $9.99. Well, when they send it here, they set their minimum price at $9.99, which means if the store sells it at that, they're not going to make any money. So they have to mark it up, a buck, $2, $3, and then nobody wants to do it. They just want to spend the money running to Walmart to get it. I feel sorry for the kid that bought this place up here. My diabetes doc took me completely off insulin last Wednesday. Nice. Congratulations. I'm still taking my shot in my belly once a week and still taking my pills every day. So, had a sugar crash in her office. Psh, that's never good. We have a point system here. Points add up over time to get free stuff. My sugar is averaging around 225 or so. With this medicine, this Majaro that I'm taking, and then the pills that I take, mine has gone from 350 last year all the way down to 115, 120, 125 on average. The last time I was at the doctor, it was 99, and I felt like I was going to pass out. They're like, oh no, that's where we want it at. And you want me to be lethargic? Because right now, it seems like a big deal to even try to get up and move, let alone keep my eyes open. But that's where you want it at. We also have reduced racks here in grocery stores. Pharmacy got to be in store and grab. Well, we have reduced price racks here, but it's normally stuff that didn't sell on the shelves and isn't going to sell on the reduced price rack either because it sucks. Sure, I'll go back on insulin, but she wants to know where I run on my own. Also have veggies called imperfect carrots, potatoes, way cheaper. We don't have anything like that. We have farmers markets where the really good looking stuff and the mutant looking stuff all go together. All I have to do is go to the garden for veggies. Gotta know how to shop. Mine was at 34 in the doc's office. Jeez, criminy. The last time that I got down, before I started this new medicine, if mine would drop into the 200 range, I would eat something to bring it back up, but before it went back up, I'd pass out. I'd be laying on the couch and I'd pass out for 4 or 5 hours. I was still functioning at 34, but I was feeling it. And I don't know if I could function that low. And it's really funny how these doctors are so different in their beliefs on how things work. Because they've got, like my daughter, who we have our alarms set at 55 on our phones. When her monitor drops below 55, we start getting every 3 or 4 minutes an alarm that goes off. You guys have heard it on here before. Um, because her doctors don't want her down that far. My doctor, I have one endocrinologist that says maybe your body just likes to operate at 350. Maybe we just need to leave it alone and let it do its thing. I mean, if that is where your body wants to operate and you get very lethargic at 200 or 250, maybe we just need to leave it in the 300s and just monitor it. Then you have another doctor, oh no, we want you in between 75 and 100. If it's 75 and 100, I'd go into a coma. I've already been in a coma. I don't want to be in another coma. One of our big stores called Woolies. God, I remember when we had Woolworths here. I used to love going to Woolworths. So, a similar range of imperfect fruit and veggies. They call it oddball. Oh, that's cool. We have so many cucumbers that I need to start freezing or canning them. Mail them to us. We go through a cucumbers is one of me and the wife's favorite things to snack on. We'll get some ranch dressing or some cream cheese or something, and we'll sit around and just snack, snack on cucumbers. I put a lot of cucumbers in my salad. I make cucumber salad, which is sliced cucumbers and sliced tomatoes with basically a homemade coleslaw sauce. Always a hit at picnics and stuff. Hey Dan, good to see you, bud. We have beans, squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, along with second planting of potatoes, which will be harvested soon. Canada, we're getting Zellers back, so happy. I haven't tried planting potatoes yet. I used to love cucumbers and onions and vinegar with sugar before sugar became the great Satan. Well, they might call sugar the great Satan, but quite honestly, since being on my medicine and my blood sugar dropping so much, I have creamer and sugar in every cup of coffee now. And frankly, to be honest, it don't bring my blood sugar up at all. So just got to use it sparingly, I guess. Hear the words coming out of my mouth, but if you've seen my action making a cup of coffee, you wouldn't believe it, because I put almost a teaspoon of sugar in each cup of coffee. Nice thing is, it makes my coffee taste really good. Other good thing is that it don't make my blood sugar go up. Bad thing is, I go through sugar really fast. Thumbs up. Thank you very much, Masha. I appreciate that. Very easy. Woolies are mongrels here, same as Coles. I shop at Woolies because the store is clean. Coles always looks and smells dirty. Now, see, we have a Coles here in the States. It's spelt differently, of course. I believe ours is Koal apostrophe S. Um, and Coles is actually one of your higher level stores here. I have rare medical condition that I developed, so I have too much sugar. I get blisters on my legs. I don't need coffee to taste good. I need it to be bitter and very caffeinated. Yeah, I don't like bitter, and caffeinated I like, but bitter no. Been a while. I've been drinking Thai's mushroom coffee. Huh? Never heard of it. It has been a while for sure. Good morning, Mr. Holton. Good to see you. For those of you that didn't know, 2 days ago, 2 days ago was Mr. Holton's birthday. He's finally at that age where I believe he has hit puberty. His voice will start to change now, and he'll start to grow hair in funny places. So if you did not get a hold of Mr. Holton on Facebook or anything and wish him a happy birthday, then please proceed. I'm just very, very happy that, he is part of my life and a dear friend. um, Lost 10 pounds from it. Very cool. Very good. Good gut health. I mistakenly ordered whole bean coffee a month and just kept ordering whole bean and grinding my own. Tony Mayhem, Dave Jam, morning everyone. I'm 35, not that young. Yeah, but you look it. You shave that you shave that beard off and stuff like that. You look young. Yeah, he's not that old. He makes it sound like he is, but he's really not. How was your camp out and stuff there, Ty? Come on, get up there. There we are. I don't exactly understand it, Tony, why I do this like this. But when I drink my coffee black, especially as strong as I like my coffee, it makes my kidneys hurt, especially my right one. It makes it hurt. I mean, all day long. But when I do it like this, my kidneys don't hurt. Of course, y'all know I just not very long ago had blood tests and urine tests and all kinds of stuff like that done. And of course, uh, they said there was four chemicals out of like 60 that they tested that were a little elevated, but nothing to worry about. Kidneys were fine, blood work was fine, all that stuff. So I don't know why, but for some reason, that strong coffee that trucker's coffee that I like to drink makes my kidneys hurt unless I put the cream and sugar in it. Then it don't make my kidneys hurt. Let me see here. Birthday. Oh, I need a graveyard fix. Yeah, me too, Dan. Me too. I need to get. We need to get out. I mean, it's. We're getting into the latter part of summer. We need to get out and do something before it gets to that point where we can't get out and do something. We are all about twice as old as the kid is. Well, he's 35. I've still got, what, 10, 11. I've still got 12 years until I'm twice his age. So, thinking of August dates. Dan, come to the farm. We have a cemetery on the hill in front of the house. Yeah, yeah. See, I've been thinking about that cemetery jam, but I mean, dang, you guys are 5 hours one way. Granted, I would absolutely love to do that property and everything, but yeah, 10-hour round trip, especially with the price of gas here in Michigan. They're taking advantage of people up here. I mean, you drive 17 miles south of us and it goes down almost 50 cents a gallon. You get down into my sister's area, 3 hours south of here, it's $1 less a gallon. You get down to my mom and dad's place, it's $1.50 less a gallon. I think my mom just got gas the other day. She paid like $2.15 a gallon in Tennessee. We're paying what? Last time I looked, which was last week, it was $3.60 some odd cents a gallon. What am I missing here? I gotta go. Y'all have a wonderful day. All right, Masha, you take care of yourself, honey. We'll see you later. Last happy birthday. Heads down from. Thank y'all, everyone. I'm as old as I feel, and I feel older. 35. Camp out didn't go off great as planned, but the heat and folks let me down. But we made the best of it. It's all you can do. I've been on many a camp out and it rained and stormed like a mother. Thank God I had a officer's Civil War tent, an old wall tent, where we could just move the party inside, move the fire up underneath the dining fly. That way, it rolled off the canvas past the fire pit. Use a smaller fire so you don't set your canvas on fire. I've had campouts where it was supposed to be in the 50s and it wound up snowing. I've had some where I had to sleep outside because inside the canvas it got so bloody hot that you could strip buck naked and be sweating to death and wake up in a puddle. So, yeah, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I understand. I understand about the weather and stuff. Yeah. Last blood screen showed elevated testosterone level. Go figure. Wish the heck mine would elevate. And of course, my insurance don't cover, testosterone pills or anything. So the old beat us will kill your testosterone levels. Love JJ. Later mayhem. Almost 31 years. If you could get enough money to catch a flight, we'd pick you up at the airport in Columbus. Yeah, the only really bad thing is carrying our equipment. I don't know if you've noticed or not yet, but TSA is getting really about electronic devices and stuff like that. So could you imagine the menagerie of crap the 373 questions we would have to go through? Um, Taking suitcases of electronic devices on airplanes. Um, Eat some beets, does wonders, magnesium too. TSA is pain in the butt. I've woke covered in snow twice. Yep, yep. I will never forget the last 1812 event that I done. I'm sitting out next to the fire pit. I got my Rocky Mountain capote on, got my stocking cap on, and I am smoking bacon in a snow downfall. I had my super wedge at that time, 9 feet high, 12 feet wide, had a bunk going down both sides and a teeny tiny campfire in the middle. And we had four guys, two on each bunk, sitting there trying to keep warm. And I'm sitting outside just watching the snow fall on everything, loving it, loving it. It went from 50 degrees the night before to 30 degrees the next morning and snowed like a mudda. But I was loving it. Take magnesium. The airlines here have cracked down on lithium batteries and devices. Oh, I've noticed, selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. If I use a computer box, a laptop box to ship things, I have to completely tape paper over or mark out anything that even suggests electronic device or batteries, especially lithium batteries. Uh, they don't want any of that stuff being, which completely shocks me because a company you can have a computer that you purchase online shipped to you, but you can't use the box over again without covering all that anything that suggests a battery driven power source or anything. I wore wool clothing, wool blankets, so it wasn't a problem until I got up to start coffee. Was starting the fire again. I always have a little piece of canvas around that I can throw on the ground and get down on. That way, if I'm just wearing a blanket and my underdrawers, I got something to put my knees on that isn't dirt and sticks, or something to put my knees on that isn't mud or snow. So yeah, I understand. Sit there and blow on the fire. It's always my favorite part. Now, that is one thing about um, getting older and having to have a bigger setup and stuff like that. Um, Used to be I'd camp in just a lean-to, have my fire like 4 foot from the bed. So whenever it started to go out at night, I'd just grab a piece of wood or a few couple pieces of wood, put it back on the fire, roll back over, go to sleep. So I had hot coals in the morning when I woke up, and if I didn't have hot coals, I still had a fire going. I'd wake up whenever I decided to wake up and get up. Well, kind of, sort of get up, and I'd get the fire stoked back up again and burn. I'd take a coffee pot, pick it up, set it right on top of my little grate, and then go back to sleep. When I woke up, I had steaming coffee. Then I got older and needed a bigger tent than a lean-to or something like that. And I couldn't do that anymore because you don't want to burn down a $3,000 tent. Poor as I am, you don't want to burn down a $100 tent. Not allowed to leave them over a certain power level. Cannot have any at all in your check-in baggage. The first time it was struck fire all over. Second, I got up, blankets. The thing was about 2 a.m. or so. Coals were good. A lot of times now, what I will do is right before I go to bed at like 11, 12, whenever, I'll throw, three, four logs on the fire. And when I wake back up at like 5:30, something like that, even if I don't still have little pieces of burning wood in the fire, I've got hot coals. So all I got to do is make up one of my cute little um, candle wax, dryer lint, newspaper fire logs, and get some kindling set over the top of it and everything, and blow on it with the blow tube a couple times, and poof, it catches on fire. The candle wax melts. The kindling falls in on top of it, and I can start stacking my wood around. It takes like 5 minutes to get fire started. But that is the nice thing about using these old candle lanterns and stuff is, when the candles all melt and gather in the bottom of it, all you got to do is take your knife, pop it out, throw it in a bag, and boom, you got fire starter. Man, it's almost a quarter till already. I cannot believe how time flies. I do got to admit, I feel a lot better now than I did hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. I woke up this morning and I went to bed last night and I was looking really forward to doing this, and just laying there overnight, I got to hurting so bad by the time I woke up, lugging all that weight around, doing all the running back and forth between, um, dry storage and the pizza garage and running over to the restaurant to get stuff and coming back. Um, my back, my shoulders, my knees, my ankles, uh, it messed me up. I woke up this morning. I was walking to the house last night, and the wife kept asking me, "Are you all right? Are you gonna survive?" I'm like, "No." So that's why the retirement age used to be 65 because, well, after 40 years of working, for some people, 45 or more, your body starts to wear down after a while. You're 45, you're 46 years old. I said, I just hope and pray that in another 20 years, you're not feeling what I'm feeling. In another 15 years, you're not feeling what I'm feeling right now. I said, but then again, you didn't used to climb ladders with two bundles of shingles on your side, on your shoulder, and climb a story and a half or two and a half stories in the air, and then have to walk on an angle like this with the shingles on your shoulders to get them up to the people that are using them. And just tore myself up. That's all there is to it. Yeah, we learned for the first time. I will call you Wednesday, brother, for the podcast. I was going to ask you when we were going to do it again because we are just about out of July. We've not done one for July yet, so I don't know what I'm working on Wednesday yet, but we'll figure it out. We always do. I look forward to catching up with you all on Monday nights. Well, hopefully, my schedule kind of sort of stays like this, and I'll be able to. I won't have a reason to miss very many more Mondays because I always enjoy doing this, and frankly, not only am I letting y'all down, but I'm letting myself down as well because I enjoy it so much. And hopefully, yeah, hopefully we keep up and or the hours keep up like they are, so I'll still be able to, keep everything smoothly juggling. Look forward to catching up. Talk to me after we've stretched an entire orchard of fencing, and I'll be right there with you. Oh, I'm sure. I can't imagine. Um, Now, do you have the stretcher? To pull everything nice and tight. You put it on. You hook the fencing to one pole, then you stretch it out to the other, and then you crank the stretcher so it pulls everything tight. So then you can bind the fence to that pole, then you move down to the next and do the same thing again. Oh, you hand stretch. My left knee and right shoulder are wrecked from truck driving. Fence tensioner. Thank you, Cher. Well, they're trying to keep, the deer and stuff off their orchard. So, I figured it was going to be something like cattle fencing that they had to put up, even though I've seen a deer literally clear a 6 foot fence before. Um, where I grew up at, we used to have fences that separated properties out in the field. Like we had one field that was in like a huge L shape, uh, but there was a fence that ran these two directions to fence off our nearest neighbor's property across the field. And I've seen deer run out across there just no issue clearing a 6 foot fence. So yeah, hopefully, like bad cheese, I'm off to have a great day. I'm off. Have a great day. You too, Dan. You take care of yourself, bud, and I hope you do have a good day. I'm looking forward to doing another podcast with you. body aside from testosterone production is wrecked. Um, and I'm the fence tensioner. Roos and wombats are trouble here for farmers. I have to put up a lot of fence by myself. Our fence is 8 foot. Never seen a deer jump 8 foot fence. Like I said, I've seen them jump 6 foot, and they're so cool when they jump because a lot of them don't jump over. They like will go straight up in the air and back down, head constantly looking up. Just now, I've seen deer jump like snow fencing and stuff, like 4 foot fencing, like that. But when they're jumping like high, tall fencing, they just go straight up in the air and then land on their back legs. Hell, I still have 2 full rolls of woven wire fence here, and 50 or so posts. Sounds interesting. I wish we could do something with the ground out here where I could actually put in a garden. Um, but the only spot of ground that's like not directly in front of the house or something uh, that we could do it is so full of rock and brick and wood. You know where the old house used to set out back behind the house. So we even tried hitting it with the rototiller, and the rototiller would only cut probably 3 or 4 inches down, and just at 3 or 4 inches, we would turn up hundreds of rocks anywhere between that big and that big. There was a couple of them in there that was that big. Brick, chunks of wood, nails, and I don't care if you stand on the front of the rototiller, it'll just sit there and pop, 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 pop every time the blades turn. It is so packed. The dirt is so packed, and then it's packed with, like I said, rocks and debris from the old house that they had to tear down before they put this one here. And it's no place around here to do it. That's why I want to build uh, planter boxes and put planter boxes out and plant our tomato plants, our peppers, our onions, our potatoes, stuff like that in there. But then, you got to go out and buy loads of dirt and stuff to put in them. I mean, you end up saving a lot of money by growing your own veggies, but that initial cost of getting them set up, I think it kind of pulls out to be even, I would say. We need to get the fencing up. We've lost our cantaloupe plants to the ditch. Is a raised garden bed a possibility? You could try potting. See, I thought about that. But, if I buy or build planter boxes, I can build them 8 or 10 foot long, 2 or 3 foot wide, um, in a 8 foot by 3 foot planter box. I can fit all the tomato plants we need. In a second one, I could fit all of my onions and my pepper plants. In a third one, I could do enough potatoes to last us the whole year. So and then, build a smaller one for like cantaloupe or pumpkin or something like that. Might try lettuce, might not try lettuce. Those are our three big, or those are our biggest consumer products that we buy. You know, cucumbers, pickles, tomatoes, onions, potatoes, lettuce. I'd like to grow lettuce. I'd like to grow cabbage. Who knows? Luckily, I've got what 8 months till I got to worry about it again. See, that's just it. Even digging out in that ground, it's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot get a shovel. I mean, you could jump on a shovel all day long, and you're not going anywhere. It goes about that far in the ground and it stops. For potatoes, stack 3 or 4 car tires. Fill it with straw and plant potatoes at each tire level. See, I've seen the car tire thing done. I've seen milk crates. People stacking milk crates and putting straw in there and then putting some dirt on top of it and growing the taters. Flip a tire off for a harvest. Then you have 3 or 4 harvests. Yeah, I've got a lot of things working. I got a lot of things working up here. Hopefully, hopefully I can make one of them come to fruition. You could see if you could find some wooden pallets for sale cheap to make. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing. There's a company um, right on the west side of town heading out that stacks pallets every day out by the road. Potatoes take 2 or 3 months until harvest. Yeah, definitely one of the fastest growing veggies out there. So we go through a lot of taters between homemade French fries, fried potatoes, mashed potatoes, boiled potatoes, baked potatoes. We go through a lot of taters. Well, guys and gals, it is that time. It's time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a baby and head out. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. We have our first, wait, I grow my strawberries in hanging baskets. We have our first potato harvest curing in the basement. Very cool. You guys all have a great day. Have a great week. And as of right now, I plan to be here next Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and do it all over again. But you guys all take care. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll catch you later. Have a good one, y'all.